Ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed a rare privilege that I enjoy today of welcoming you to this annual general meeting of the board. The members of the board and myself are most grateful to you for the honor you have done us in acceding to our request to inaugurate this session. The trust you have placed in the engineers of the country to influence further and shape the economic progress of the nation is obvious in the appointment of one of the experts of our profession and one of our past presidents as Union Minister. The board takes pride in his appointment as such, and I can assure you on behalf of the board and that the trust you have placed in him will be fully justified. In one of his inaugural speeches to this board, our late Prime Minister had said that two words, irrigation and power, briefly represent the basic needs of any material development in these regions today. It is therefore very opportune for us to have a few words of advice and guidance from a statesman of your ability with a lifelong service to constructive work. Before I proceed to the main subject of my address, it may not be out of place to speak a little on the activities of the board, which has now completed over 30 years of fruitful service to the nation. The efforts of the board have enabled India to occupy a prominent place on the irrigation and power map of the world. As an organization, it possesses the highest degree of technical competence and enjoy a worldwide reputation. Some of its publications are being quoted as reference books throughout the world. The board has been responsible for making some original contributions in the science and technique of irrigation engineering. During the second plan, the board formulated a scheme for promoting and advancing fundamental and basic research in the field of irrigation and power engineering, which was approved by the Government of India and has been continued in the third plan. The board is playing a vital role in coordination and guiding research in this country, thus preventing duplication and wastage of effort and in bringing about improvements in irrigation practices and methods of construction, publishing results of research on irrigation subjects. The board is today the biggest cooperative organization in the country contributing to nation's irrigation and power development. Though the board can feel proud of its past achievements, it can feel complacent in face of so many new problems which confront the profession today. The present food shortage is challenge to us all. What we have to think is how to meet this important problem of food shortage, how we are to produce more food to feed millions of our countrymen. We cannot rely on imports for long. We have to utilize every available space and every available drop of water to grow more food. We should try to bring more areas under cultivation. Although the engineers will have to solve the problem of food shortage, the distribution depends upon the administrator, but the production is our responsibility. On behalf of the board, I can assure the government that we are fully conscious of this responsibility and we are doing our best to be self-sufficient in this regard. Hardly a year passes without distress in some part of the country due to unprecedented floods. The flood control work gains immense importance when there is some dangerous flood in a particular year. But if in the succeeding years nature is kind, flood control measures become less and less important till the flood strikes once again. Unfortunately, this has been happening in India. The states are at present carrying out investigations and preparing project reports for irrigation and hydroelectric power in the fourth 5-year plan. It is an opportune time to provide more funds for flood control works during the fourth plan. For efficient functioning of flood control works, it is also imperative that flood forecasting be introduced for all major river valleys where the problem is acute. We have to overcome this evil of floods at any cost. To overcome food shortages, we have to enhance the productivity of land. It is realized that to derive quick benefits, emphasis should be laid on minor and medium projects. Thus, along with the big projects which provide water at a cheaper rate than the smaller ones, a large number of minor and medium projects should be taken up and emphasis continued to be placed on minor irrigation works for some time to come. Before I sit down, ladies and gentlemen, I must express my thanks to all our guests. Among them are representatives from international organizations, from various universities, from technical and research institutions with whom we are privileged to collaborate in the field of irrigation and power and other subjects. Through them, I now speak to communicate our greetings to their respective organization and our gratefulness for their joining us in this session. Dear Sir, we have the pleasure to inform you that having established ourselves here after having come back to India, we have the honor to express our deepest gratitude to all customers, patrons, and fellow businessmen who have offered us their unstinted cooperation during the last 4 years, not only in India but also abroad. It is due to universal cooperation and frank appreciation of the book published by our firm that we have been persuaded to expand our business at a pace that has surprised many fellow tradesmen. The mainspring of our expansion has been the best production of books at an economical price and reasonable concession to and firm cooperation from the dealers and individual customers. We sell all kinds of books, and a full list of our stock with details and prices as well as trade terms can be had by dropping a postcard with your address. We send our catalog free of cost. You can be sure that any order you may send us will be executed at the most favorable market prices and in the best class of books obtainable. We believe that many years of experience which we have had in this line and ample means at our disposal will sufficiently warrant your confidence in us to give us a trial order before looking out for alternative sources. You may rely upon our most careful and prompt attention to all orders which we may be favored with. We have in our stock a supply of general books which have evoked an enthusiastic interest not only in India but elsewhere. We have been able to reprint several editions of various books within a short time, a list whereof is enclosed herewith for your favorable attention. In order to introduce you to buy our books, we would give you special terms and we are willing to consider any proposal from you for expansion of your business and cementing our friendly relations. If you find that our quotation which we enclose meets with your requirements, we shall be glad to enter into negotiations with you for a regular business between us. we remain yours faithfully.